Hi there, my name is Melissa Day, and today I'm going to talk to you about STEM and different things that you can do in the early childhood classroom with your students. STEM in the early childhood classroom. So what is STEM? STEM is an acronym that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Science is the investigation of the natural world and how it works. Technology, any human modification of the natural world. So for the definition of engineer, this is actually a picture of my father, Mike Day. And one time I got to shadow him at work, and my dad's a manufacturing engineer for Boeing. And the way I remembered it was he was at his desk and this guy came up and said, Mr. Day, we have a problem and we don't know what to do. And my dad said, don't worry, I'll fix it. And he problem solved and came up with a solution. And he later was able to share his solution with the people and help his coworkers. So in engineering is taking science a step further by creating a product or technology. This causes the transition from A to B. Engineering design process in the early childhood classroom for pre-K kids. The engineering is elementary, describes it as the steps of explore, create, improve. So here's the visual that EIE uses for explore, create, and improve to help pre-K kids move through the engineering design process in a developmentally appropriate way. Mathematics is the study of number, quantity, and space. So there's this website that I stumbled upon called Peep and the Big Wide World. And there are different lesson plans for teachers to use, and these are the different subjects: color, plants, ramps, shadows, sound, and water. The website's very user-friendly, and they even have it broken down by week and different sections of the day. Here is a really fun activity. It's kind of a play on the volcano called Exploring with Colors. Some of the words you can use with your students is reaction, which is putting two things together that change when mixed, and result is what happened after you did your experiment. The materials that you need: baking soda, vinegar, food coloring, ice trays, pipettes, and a baking tray. And you take a bunch of baking soda, put it in the baking tray, and then the vinegar, you color it and put it in the ice tray. And then they can take the kids can take the pipettes and they can squeeze the colored vinegar into the baking soda. They get to see the reaction. And then the more colors they use, they can see that they can create new colors by mixing the ones that they have. If you wanted to introduce them to secondary colors, you could give them just the primary colors and say, okay, so right now you have red, blue, and yellow. Let's see if we can create other colors with the three colors that we have here and see what colors they can create. Chromatography is separating different parts of a mixture. So to do this activity, you need strips of paper towels, markers, food coloring, popsicle sticks, tape, cups, and water. And what you do is you take a strip of paper towels, or you can use coffee filters, and you draw on it with the marker, and then you place it so that the water just hits the paper towel. And what happens is when the water travels up, it separates the colors that are inside the marker. Exploring with shades. This, you can use the vocabulary words. Hue is another word for color. Shade, how dark or light a color is. Saturated, having a lot of color. Dilute, to water down, so not make as strong or saturated. Materials: food coloring, ice tray, pipettes, and water. And what you do is you put food coloring and water in a little ice tray, or you can use little cups. And then you can show how you can add more water to the different cups with a little bit of color, and you can create different shades of the same color by diluting in water. exploring with colors. So what could you do to facilitate exploratory play with colors in your classroom? So go ahead and think about different ways that you can explore with colors. Some different ways is watercolors in the art area, colors in ice trays with pipettes, markers, papers, and water with eyedroppers, tissue paper, tulle, and cellophane next to the window. So something that I do in my classroom is take colored cellophane and I just tape them in the windows, and the kids, when the sun comes through, can see the colors on the floor and on the furniture. Another thing that I do is I put prisms in my windows in my classroom and then also at home. And when the sun hits it just right, we can see the rainbows all throughout the classroom. Another activity is called instant parallel lines. So parallel lines are lines that never touch. Some examples are railroad tracks, door frames, and floor tiles. Intersecting lines are lines that cross each other. Examples are the letter T and the letter X. So what you can do is take two markers and tape them together. And whenever you tape them together, the lines don't touch and the kids can actually draw with parallel lines. So what could you do to facilitate exploratory play with lines in your classroom? Some different ways, using rulers, popsicle sticks, markers taped together, and then anglegs, which is from Frog Street. It's these little plastic manipulatives that you can put together to create shapes and parallel lines. Making your own stethoscope. A stethoscope is this tool doctors use to listen to our hearts and lungs. In order to make your homemade stethoscope, you need duct tape, funnel, and a paper towel roll. That's it. So what you do is you tape the funnel to the paper towel roll, and you can place the funnel on a person's chest, and you can listen to your partner's heart. This would be a great thing that you can do whenever you are doing your vet theme, or if you're doing a theme with community helpers, you're talking about doctors and nurses. So what other ways could you explore stethoscopes in your classroom? There you go, creating doctor's office in the dramatic play, and paper and pencils to write numbers of heartbeats counted. So you can have students actually listen to their partner's heart, and they can count how many times they hear a beat. Child design inclines. So the hypothesis is an educated guess. So what do you think will happen? Inclined plane is a flat surface where one end is higher than the other. So when you're exploring inclined planes, you can use words like top, middle, side, bottom, above, below, and next to up, down, across, and opposite. So whenever you have your children exploring with different STEM activities, you're able to really use those vocabulary words to help them expand upon it. So one way you can do this is by cutting tubes and making ramps. You can use bouncy balls to go down the ramps. Wrong way. Here is something that I have in my classroom. It's called Engineer a Coaster, and my students love this activity. And this is something you can get from Lakeshore. It is pricey. However, you can make them like I said, you can make PVC pipes, and you can make your own in the classroom for a lot less expensive, or you can use different toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. Or if it's during Christmas time, you can collect wrapping paper rolls, which are longer. What could you do to facilitate exploratory play with ramps in your classroom? Here we have PVC pipes with acorns and rocks, paper towels, wrapping paper, different size balls rolling down ramps and around the school. Okay, so child's exploratory play. Open-ended play helps students learn using play. Children learn content through inquiry. Educational toys with one correct answers are not necessarily the best learning tools. Open-ended tools or open-ended manipulatives are best for exploration. So what can you do with this? So we reclaimed and recycled materials for STEM exploration. You have natural materials. So these are different things that you can get. Leaves, pie cones, seashells, different rocks of different sizes. They can use this to investigate life cycles and earth material, but be aware of nut and seed allergies whenever you use them. Different other things that you can use in the classroom is wood, planks, blocks, corks, plywood, wicker, and popsicle sticks can be used by children to explore the engineering concepts of balance, speed, and motion. Glass, marble, and ceramic. So you have gems, stones, and tiles, various sizes and shapes can be used for counting during explorations of numeracy. Materials with textured surface, so soundproofing materials, foam coverings for pipes, insulations, carpet samples, sandpaper, different things that you can use to explore texture in the classroom. Food containers and bottles can also be used. Make sure if you're using glass that you're careful, as they can become dangerous. So think about your age level and if it's developmentally appropriate. Some other miscellaneous materials, clay and other modeling materials can be used for exploration of size and weight, to create models of numbers, or to make imprints of natural materials. Adding literacy to STEM. So you can have paper to write down what children observe in the classroom. Class storybooks can be used, magnifying glasses on paper where they can draw their observations. So just a piece of paper with a magnifying glass drawn on it, and they can draw inside the magnifying glass. And a clipboard for students to draw observations and share out during large group. Another way to explore STEM is using Fairytale STEM activities. So here are some different things that are already available at Lakeshore. So how can you encourage STEM using common stories? You can build a wall for Humpty Dumpty and have an egg balance on a wall. You can make a chimney that Santa can fit down, make a boat to sail, kind of like from the story. You can use that from Where the Wild Things Are. Make a bridge for the gingerbread man or the Three Billy Goats Gruff, or for the ginger man, you can also do a boat. So what should you do if a child's hypothesis is wrong? You can give more experiences to guide them in the right direction. You can ask them, have you thought, or I wonder. And also you can read books that help teach them about concepts. So instead of telling a student that they're wrong, give them the scaffolding that they need to explore and help them learn and help them learn and explore on their own. Here are some different technology links that you can use in the classroom. As I mentioned earlier, engineering is elementary. It's a curriculum based on the engineering design process for young children. Mystery Doug has weekly science videos with questions and explanations. Go Noodle has brain breaks to help with movement, academics, and fun. And then Peep and the Big Wide World, we talked about that, introduces children to easy to replicate science experiments using everyday materials. All right. Thank you and have a wonderful day.